I tried.
It's on recording. This thing
It's
on
on, don't worry about it.
phone.
I just use what I have.
It's
Oh,
sad.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's for that?
Lance.
Yes,
It's
sir.
gonna be there. That's okay.
Elliot's
That's okay.
thing,
That's
doesn't
right.
it?
Yeah, so you got the revised.
It has audio.
Yeah, but I want, we typically have backup.
Okay.
So I'm gonna record it on the phone so you can go now.
Okay.
Yeah, can we let him be here?
It's 5:36. We call the committee meetings of the Port Allen City Council to order for November 1st, 2023. At this time, I'd like to request everyone either turn off or silence your electronic device. Begin with recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the Public Safety Committee to order to establish a quorum. May we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Riviere,
Here.
Ms. Lacy, Ms. Gordon.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. Item number 4, the Police Department report. Chief Hicks.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and all that's attending this evening. In order to keep both yourself and the City Council aware of the activities of the Port Allen Police Department, I offer to account for the month of October 2023. Alarm home business, 57, assistant Port Allen Fire Department 8, disturbance 15, death 8, suspicious activity 5, remaining after being forbidden 8. Port Allen Fire Department 35, information 19, incidents by location, northeast of Court Street and LA 142, northwest of Court Street and LA 158, southeast of Court Street and LA 161, southwest of Court Street and LA 155, south of I-1023. Total number of suspects arrested 21, traffic crashes 37, and traffic tickets 23.
Any questions for Chief Hicks? Thank you, Chief.
Thank y'all.
Item number 5, the nuisance violation report. Inspector Gibbon.
Good evening, Councilman, yes. For the month of October, I did a follow-up on those previous blighted properties that we was talking about in the last month. 443 Michigan Avenue, I had no answer to the notice I sent. 565 Burbridge Avenue, they trying to fix it, but it was already on the condemnation list, once before. That's you know the one I'm talking about. It was on the condemnation list already, but he's haven't did anything to it. But yeah,
So he moved to tarp or something.
yeah, yeah. He was working on it, but he kind of slowed down on it.
Well, all you have to do is board it up.
He have a siding and everything that he need to work on also.
All right.
I have 833 13th Street. I was told that they was trying to fix it up, but they stopped also. So I have received a notice from contact from them. I have 522 Harry Brown Street. They finished. They actually demolished that one already. And I have 1433 Rosedale Road. I have no response for those from them. And 1260 Avenue B, I have no response from them also.
All right.
That was the one that was actually tore down.
And council members, we have asked your building, your third-party architectural inspector to go out there and begin the condemnation process on the properties we discussed. That's what we took off.
We'll move that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the formal condemnation process is now in the works on those.
For all.
Yeah, 5 of them.
It was 5, but like I said, I have a few more.
Okay.
But we haven't started on those yet.
Anything else for Inspector Gilbert? Thank you, man.
All right, thank you, guys.
Item 6, adjourned.
Public Works Committee, call to order, establish a quorum, roll call please.
Ms. Gordon.
Here, for discuss pay application for Public Works project, Mr. Tony Ericon.
Thank y'all. I've got a couple pay apps for y'all to consider for approval at the council meeting. And then I also have an update on the, I guess the kind of disaster at the wastewater treatment plant. First, we have a retainage cost estimate for Spinks. Of course, this is the sewer repairs project, Court 8th and Michigan Streets. And the retainage is basically, he got us a clear lien certificate. That is in the amount of $15,327.90. This would be their final pay out. This closes out the project. They're in warranty period right now. There's one repair we want them to relook at. So that's the first one. Again, that's Spinks in the amount of $15,327.90. The next one is actually two things. It's the dewatering system, which is, it's actually working, but because of all the other issues we're having at the plant, they haven't had a chance to use it other than to try it out. The contractor for that is J&G the Third LLC. This second pay app is in the amount of $13,680. That essentially brings the project to completion less the retainage. And there was a couple other things we asked them, the contractor, to give us and to do. When we set up the dewatering thing, we wanted to move the sludge pump. We also wanted to add a new screening debris chute and a spray pump. We had talked about all these really for the last couple of years, and because he was already there, we got him to do that. Those three items are $22,700, and that would basically be approving a change order for those three items. And again, that's J&G. They're essentially, with the exception of the change order items, done as well. We can use the dewatering system. The last thing that I don't know that's specifically on the agenda, but because of how much it's costing and what's going on, I felt like it was necessary to don't shoot the messenger, because this is some really painful information. Essentially, your wastewater treatment plant has an influent pump station that has 4 pumps. All the wastewater through the whole city goes into that pump station and then gets pumped up into the plant. About really sometime first or second week in October, the pumps stopped working. Now, at that time, even prior to that, you only had 2 of your 4 pumps working. One needs a total rebuild, and the other one, they believe the motor has fried up. And so I just want to point out those 2 have nothing to do with this whole issue. So essentially, when they stopped working, we had to bring in emergency bypass pumps, because obviously otherwise the sewer's going to back up into the whole city. You don't really have a choice. They did. And then they discovered that the problem was basically predicated by the sewer wet well being basically full of sludge and rags and sand and whatever, to the extent that the suctions on all those pumps couldn't suck. They were basically plugged. And so they tried to just bring in a big vac truck and just suck it from the top. But this wet pit is 22 feet deep, and because the stuff was so thick and, the thing is so deep, a vac truck was only able to get it down 11 tons from the wet pit, which is a lot, but it still has about 3 feet of just all kind of stuff in the bottom.
Tony, how often, when's the last time we've done this?
The last time, a couple of years ago, y'all did it, but you didn't suck it all the way down. So you probably just the worst part, My comment would be now, after obviously this whole thing gets done, then I just put it on an annual basis to take it out and suck it out, because obviously the cost gets prohibitive once you get to the point where to maybe get it down without having to bypass the whole influent of the plant. We basically put a big trash pump that like the contractors use, and we stuck it in the wet pit itself. It worked for a couple days, and then basically it froze up because it had too many rags. We pulled the rags out of it, did it again. Because it's not that large, you only had a 24-inch opening, that was the biggest pump we could stick in there, and it wasn't gonna work. So basically where we are right now, y'all, is we're bypass pumping at the plant. Basically the bypass pump is in the influent wet well. You know, it's just sucking out of there and pumping over the screen, and one of the 4 pumps is pumping kinda. The other, because it's sucking too much trash. So got together last week, actually last Friday, and got together with of course BJ and me and BPS, who's the bypass people, CES, who are the people who, you know, I guess suck out the sludge, and NCMC, who y'all may remember, they were the ones who helped us when we had the effluent pump station went to hell. I don't remember, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. They're, you know, kind of a contractor that has experience in these kind of, I guess, disasters. Basically, the thought process was we're not going to be able to suck anything out any further. So we felt like what we needed to do is bypass the influent wet well in its entirety, so you have access to it. Cut a second big hatch, which you'll have forever, a 3x5 hatch, and then basically at that point you can lower equipment and whatnot because you dry. It seems like this is when we lit up the inside of that wet pit. It's got a lot of aggregate exposed, and that's basically from having a 50-year-old pump station, you know, with hydrosulfuric, you know, sulfuric acid basically is what the wastewater makes after it's old. And so, unfortunately, I didn't see any rebar, but you also saw there's a lot of leaks coming into the things. Some so bad they were literally squirting. And so, unfortunately, this wet well shares a common wall with the aeration basins. So you're probably pumping the same water that you just pumped over there, some of it, you know, right back in a vicious circle. So, you know, then obviously you've got to seal the leaks. That's really the minimum stuff you can do to get your pump station back online. That all being said, let's turn to the second page, because that's really the one that's the most, essentially a month of stuff. CES is, there's the one that's obviously the highest, is 51,918.75. They have, y'all, the city negotiated an annual contract with them, so this is just using unit prices from that annual contract. And they have a price per ton, and they have a price per hour of the rig. And so that's just the simple multiplication. Now, the way you check them is they actually get, it's just like a, I don't know if you're taking stuff to the dump or whatever, you have load tickets. They bring it to the, you know, to the thing, and they literally measure their truck, weigh their truck, and the weigh their truck when it comes out is, and 111 tons sounds like a lot, but when you're dealing with sludge and sand and stuff like that, that kind of weight is, it will surprise you how little it takes to weigh that much. Of course, BPS provided the bypass pumping. Spinks came in, they, you know, moved some pumps, did some other things. They were kind of on standby with the hopes that we were going to be able to get into the wet pit and do something, but it never got to where it was safe to get into the wet pit, especially with just the 24-inch access. Again, bypass the wet pit in its entirety, get all the debris out because you have a big open cut hole, seal any active leaks. You have the one bad pump and the one bad motor that need to be repaired. And I'll say that $40,000 is strictly an estimate. I till they pull the pump, you don't know how much it's gonna cost, but I had to put something in there, contingency and whatnot. But after you do all this, even though at that point you would have spent essentially $200,000, all you would have really accomplished on a positive note is you would have removed the debris from inside the wet pit. I mean, it's gone, and you can go back and it'll take however long. One thing we thought would be prudent, since at that point all the aggregate and everything would be exposed, is to go ahead and use a coating, a specialty coating. Parachute basically seals it, you know, for the next 50 years. You don't have to worry about it corroding, which obviously then at least after you spent all that money, you would have gained something. I mean, you'd have the hatch too, you know, but obviously that's the 72,000. So if you take all those things and you do it all, you're talking over $250,000. It's about 272,000. But however, I just want to point out the 80,000 is best spent. I mean, we can argue with the vendors, but their stuff is pretty.
Do an annual preventive maintenance thing to empty that thing annually. Do we have the manpower to do that, or that would something to be?
You still need a special. The way I would do it would be to make sure that you clean it completely, and that would require bypassing the thing, but not for long. See, on this proposed stuff, I'm estimating it's going to take a month by the time you cut all this stuff and get down there and get 3 feet of debris out. If you're doing it annually, you know, you would need somebody to set up the bypass, and then you would get somebody like a CES to come in and take out hopefully a foot of stuff. You know, it's never more than that. It's quick, it's done, and you're back to square one. So you're not, you know, basically not many good things I can say about the drought, but quite frankly, if it was raining big time right now, people would not be. So, you know, don't shoot the messenger, but this seems to be the best thing. The other good thing you'd have is after it's all done, you would have got all 4 pumps back up and running. Because remember, before even any of this started, you only had 2 pumps running, which 2 out of 4 is not a very good math for equipment that's critical. Any questions on any of this, y'all? I wish I had better news, or quite frankly.
Well, you want to remind the council that also that you still got a digester that's still down. You also preparing to put in the generators for the F1 pump. You got the F1 pump. I think one of the pumps still needs to be replaced.
Yeah, I mean, the plant needs a lot, but this is the highest in the thing. Obviously, the control panel and the generator, those are bids we took, and we're just waiting on them to be constructed in our system for, I don't know, 4 to 5 years. You basically, the sludge is backed up in the plant, so after we take care of the influent pump station, then we'll move on to the other tanks. No way to know the volumes or anything until you actually a new site and tell them, Tony, here's a $20 million. We're not going to turn the keys on that thing for 5 years, and there's just no way you can't spend. You need to spend money at this plant. You just you won't make it.
The last wet pit, it was a partial job to get the system back operational. And at that point, it was $40,000 to 2 That particular project included the pump truck for a couple of days, but it was not completely.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, and this is fairly common in super old systems. Part of your piping is actually clay pipe, like you grow plants in, and it has a lot of sand and stuff because we're next to the river. And we can do some rehab over the years, and we have the system such that you won't have stuff come into the headworks.
And you'd be amazed at the things that get into the drains.
Look, if you have enough, I mean, those are good pumps, but they're not that good.
Right.
So I know y'all really can't act to the next meeting, but there needs to be some sort of decision made. That way you won't ever have to worry about the influent wet pit collapsing on you, which would obviously be significantly more money. Okay, thank y'all.
Y'all want something on the agenda?
agenda for next?
State, Aaron Landry.
Good evening, council. How y'all doing tonight?
Yeah.
Getting all the debris and stuff out of servitude throughout the city. We got American Tree, got the contract for cleaning the Avenue D ditch from, LeBon all the way to Allendale. They're cleaning both sides of the ditch and the bottom of the ditch. We got 3 bids on repairing Whitehead Boulevard and other areas in the city. And, we got 3 bids on concrete work throughout the city. And then, had a fence repair at the end of Harry Brown, and they did some repair work at the sewer plant.
I hit another road trouble spots. We received the bids, you said?
I think they received a bid from Epic Paving, but I'm not sure if they received bids from the rest, 2 other ones.
I think he has 3, but it's a possibility we're gonna have to rebid because of the range. I don't think they're bidding out to 98,000. And that doesn't sound like they bid the same thing, so.
Well, you have to read the bid, Mr. Common, you can notice in their bid that the amount of asphalt they use. And because of that, then they lose out. But that's,
I didn't see them, but.
yeah. If you read the bid,
Aaron and
it's about the amount of asphalt they're gonna use to match up their reason.
They were gonna cut in what they said, maybe 8 inches of asphalt. I don't know what the other bid price is.
Darren and I had a brief conversation about it, but typically when he gets out 3.
Tony went over everything in the sewer plant, so. In the water and gas department, we had a few water main busted a few weeks ago. We got all repaired up. A few of the water and gas pipe in this Westview crossing, should get tied in tomorrow. And, not positive on how many water and gas services we're gonna install in this new subdivision. But I know we have 13 left to install as of today. And our excavator broke down today.
Are we getting an update from you every month or every 3 months? How they?
I don't know.
What are you required to give us?
I was told every month.
Every month? Okay. Okay. Thank you for the update.
Thank you.
Anybody have a
Good
question?
info.
Item number 2 is status report. Item number 3, roll call.
Mr. Brown.
Here.
Ms. Lacy. Mr. Hubble.
Here.
And Mr. Burke.
Item number 4, update on community development activities. Ms. Rose Rashawn.
Yes, you know, you guys know that it's something that we did a cooperative endeavor with, which was the Justice Trail event on Saturday that went out with, the lecture that was at the museum. He was in Port Allen and had an awesome draw of people, and that was something that's a worldwide thing that people really are attracted to. So that museum puts in some awesome, but that's what we've had thus far. Looking forward to the Veterans Day Parade, the Veterans Parade, which is on November 5th through the city of Port Allen. Should be a great one. No, it's a secret.
Past President Pee Wee Break a Lot and Mr. Huey goes like.
Okay, Mr. Huey, go.
He's not past, he's
Well,
still
current
the
parish
president.
president, Parish President, Mr. Pee Wee Bertolot.
Yes.
For their service. And we sure do thank them for the service to the community as well as to the country. We do have a date for our senior citizens holiday dinner. We did get a request from, and she's not here, Council Lady Lacy, asking about a Christmas parade. I did, mention it to the mayor, and, he's, gave the okay to us to do it, but he said that the committee should give me some directions on a date.
Well, I think we should see when Baton Rouge Parade gonna be, so we won't collide with them.
Okay?
Well, didn't we have it on a Sunday last year? I think we did. I think it was on a Sunday.
So we'll look at those dates and try to get with everybody before next week so we can have a date announced, but of course it won't be on DR's day. And that's where we are, for the year. Any questions?
Call the Personnel Committee to order to establish a quorum. Could we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Hubble,
Here.
Ms. Gordon,
Here,
Mr. Riviere.
Here.
Forms present.
Item number 4.
Update on, the two new hires that I hired, Jason Jacobs and Officer Alicia Primus, are doing very well. We getting them, trained and prepared for the upcoming, post academy coming, next year in January. I've been having them on the, reporting to the sheriff's office, fire range, every Monday for them to shoot, improving their firearms training. Officer McNeely just came back, you know, he's doing well, his supervisor has nothing bad to say about him also.
who's their supervisor?
Which one?
All of them.
McNeely is Corporal Ravencraft, and Miss Primus is also Corporal Park.
Good deal.
Everything good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, item number 5, notification of DPW employee suspension. Aaron?
Well, that's it. I think you all received the
Yeah,
email.
yeah,
with
just
to that.
to announce it,
Yeah,
okay.
just a
Yeah,
notice.
that's what it is.
Communication.
Listen out, notification.
You got an email today?
Yeah, I got it.
From whom?
Say,
Lance, Mary?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mayor?
I didn't know I was seeing him. Okay,
You got it?
no, I'm gonna look for it.
Yeah, 118.
You done?
The email was on, I'll let you know.
No, I'm just saying, I didn't know I had, it didn't show me that I had an email, that's what I'm saying. I sent it, he didn't send it to me. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you call fine.
Yes. Call the Finance Committee to order, establish a quorum. Could we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Lacy, Mr. Hubble,
Here.
Mr. Brown.
Here.
Forms present.
Item number 4,
Good evening, Council.
Hey.
I think I left quarterly report in front of everybody. What I did with department in spending, at the quarter end, we should be about 25% spending for each department. As you can see, there are a couple of departments, city court, not looking into that. I did notice while I was doing some work today that, we may have some issues with our program that need to be related to that. But everybody's doing fine. I guess you look at police, you can see that they have spent most of their capital outlay and they're finished purchasing all of their cars for the year. Highs in roads and drainage. They've spent 78% of the capital outlay. And I think that's contributed to the drought that we've been having, and roads cracking. No?
That's the roads project.
Okay. So we haven't started on,
We hadn't started on any rehab.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I think, wastewater, you see that your capital outlay is at 59, a lot higher. overall, I think we're right about 26%, right at 26% of budget spending wise. And
And just to, go ahead, but just to piggyback, I believe, city courts probably like that because of the rent. The rent is paid annually, so it seems inflated. Just a heads up. Yeah, just in case y'all were wondering,
Yeah.
I'm saying the rent's paid, it's $3,600 a year, but it's paid in one pay, so we pay it in advance, so it gets a little out of skew sometimes, but other than.
Any questions?
All right, item number 5, adjourn. Move on to mayor's correspondence.
All right, Councilman, good news. I don't have anything other than what's been said. We're working on the sewer treatment facility, and that's gonna be a headache and for the next, several months. We'll probably have to come back and ask for a budget adjustment because and that 200 and some, got the ARPA funds that we gonna be using, to make those other repairs and spending. Well, like I we committed the majority of that to the sewer plant, so, that money's still, everything else, we were supposed to have it by October, but now that's been delayed because of the manufacture of the, freight liner chassis. They're behind, so I talked to the dealer, a couple of weeks ago, and he, it's just estimated time, it could be 2 months, 3 months, who knows. Other than that, that's basically it.
I have one.
Thank you.
The park on 14th Street, and I think it was Shift C that came out. And, oh man, I didn't know the park was for the parish. I thought it was for the city.
Well, I thought you had said William and Lee.
No,
14th.
because I'm finna say, I know that wasn't for the parish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the parents maintained that park, but, we put the
Get
regular.
rid of something, so they caught it before it went out of control. So I just want to thank Shift C Fire Department. I think that's Randolph Dahl, the shift, and they did an awesome job out there, digging it up and trying to find the source of where it was coming from. And that's all I have.